All right, focus up, people. This is Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors. Welcome to today's briefing. This afternoon's topic is the hidden costs of supply chain disruptions. All right, we've been going through this COVID shutdown and trucks blockading the border with Canada, which means right now we're running into lumber shortages because a lot of our wood products come from Canada now. I went to Home Depot the other day to pick up a load of 2x3s. We were framing out a ceiling. We had to fix an uneven ceiling. I just wanted to frame it out with some 2x3 spruce, kiln dried, which Home Depot usually has 2 or 3 thousand of those in stock. And got to the Home Depot in Huntington up at the Big H Plaza, and they didn't have any 2x3s. None. Zero. Usually it's stacked up to the ceiling. The day that I pulled in, they didn't have any. All right, so that Home Depot is on my way to my job site. It should have been a 20-minute detour. Instead, I have to, do we have any? And I had to track down the store manager. You got any in the back? You got any coming in? You got them hidden someplace else? Did you move them around the store? No, 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 no. We don't know when we're getting any. We don't know where they are. We're short on 2x4s. We don't have half-inch plywood. We're having supply chain disruptions from these lockdowns. All right, so I get to my job site, check in on my guys. All right, now I know we're supposed to be framing out the ceiling, but I got to go track down 2x3s. Found them at Riverhead Lumber in Northport, but that's 15 minutes in the other direction, and it's a different loading process, and they're not kiln dried, and they cost, instead of $5 a piece, they cost $8 a piece. Okay, so I got to set my guys up on something else, which takes time. Get to Riverhead Lumber in Northport, which takes time. Load everything up, drive back to the job site, and now I'm back in the saddle and I'm moving again. But now I've lost 2 hours of my day. Actually, I've lost more because my guys had to reshift. They were getting set up to level the ceiling, and now we had to stop and reset. That's one of the those hidden costs of supply chain disruptions. Usually, I figure 20% of my time is spent handling materials, logistics, ordering them, uh, loading them, unloading them into the job site, paying for them, um, tracking everything down, following up on things that I order online. Uh, 20% of my day is spent handling and moving materials. That's why during an average day, I'm picking up and setting down a ton of weight. It's good for me physically. I burn a lot of calories, but it takes time. Now, with these disruptions, when I go to a large, big box lumberyard like Home Depot, and I need to just walk in and grab stuff and it's not there, now I've got to figure that it's closer to 40% of my time is spent handling materials. And that eats into the time that I can spend producing work on the job. So I have to budget for that time in my estimates, and I have to adjust my estimates upward. That's one of the reasons why we're hitting this inflationary spiral in construction. So you think about this: if a 2x3 kiln dried spruce, and spruce is just a trash wood that we use to frame, to fur out walls and strap stuff. You can't sand it. You can't use it for trim. It's just it's not structurally sound. It should be everywhere. They should be paying us to take it away. A 2x3 spruce stud usually costs, like $1.55. And now I'm paying $8 for that 2x3. But it's taken me twice as long to get one of them to the job site as it did pre-COVID. So not only is the price of lumber going up, but the time associated with handling that lumber has gone up, and you have to adjust in your pricing this COVID related, anti-vaxxer shutdown. You got to factor in that extra time to complete a project. This isn't, you just can't say, well, yeah, it was one trip because it's not just one item. Sometimes it's plywood. A half-inch sheet of CDX should cost about 15 bucks. The other day, I paid $60 for a sheet that was soaking wet and it was curled like a banana. And thank God. Oh, the first trip we made, they didn't even have that. I went. We had an adhesion failure because the plywood was too wet and it buckled on us when we glued the membrane down on it. The tile underlayment, the plywood underneath buckled, let go. We had to replace it. And I went up to Home Depot and they didn't have any half-inch plywood, even the crappy stuff full of water. So I had to hunt it down. All of that is time. You got to account for that time in your estimating. That's why our estimates have to go up. That's why the cost of doing this work has to go up. Your truck doesn't cost less. You only have 8 hours in a day that you can work. So you got to factor in not only the price of the materials, but the extra time it takes to find the materials that aren't on the shelves when you go in to buy them. All right? It's got to be factored into your estimates, into your pricing. And when it gets back to normal, yeah, you can go down on your prices and be more competitive. But right now, we're not in normal times. All right. This is Scott Wilson with Dumbass Contractors, urging you to stay loose, stay relaxed. Most importantly, stay in front of it. Wilson out.